Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City uniform, they stay clean. I just caught mine off of Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it.
What is going on, everybody? We are back. Thank you for tuning in to SKF Weekly, baby. Pew, 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 pow, pow, pow. What's going on, everybody? I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John. How are you, John? What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. Chilling. You know, I'm here. I'm available. We're going to talk this Knicks, the trade, summer league, you know. I'm excited, man. It's cool. It's a good day. It's a good day.
I like it. I like it.
It's a good day.
Shout out to everybody tuned in on Facebook, on YouTube. I want to say on X, but it looks like there's an issue with X. Apparently, a premium account on X is required in order to stream. Wow, they changed up. Elon, what we doing, baby?
I'm trying to get that payola.
Damn it. All my Twitter folks out there. Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, y'all. X people. Listen, I don't know how you're gonna get this message, but you know, if you don't see it, then come on over to YouTube, you know, where you don't gotta worry about, you know, the producer all up in the videos, no dancing. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do while we're talking, I'm gonna send a little message on X to let people know that, listen, if they want to see the show, come on over to YouTube. But anyway, listen, guys, it's a fine time. The Knicks are just continuing to do stuff to help the betterment of this team. We got the summer league kicking off. We'll get into some of that. And yeah, man, it's a great time. Great time to be a New York Knicks fan. I'm loving it.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. This is a good time. And everyone's on, right? Like every Knicks podcaster is on. Today is Monday. Everyone's, you know, doing their thing. So shout out to everybody, you know, on this this wonderful looking day. Today was a beautiful day out there. It was kind of hot, but it was nice out.
Yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be funky. I don't know about tomorrow. They say we might hit the triple digits, baby.
Supposed to be some rain, right? Too
rain and triple digits, possibly.
Yeah, so it's coaching.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But either way, I'm happy that we're here another day to be able to talk about this New York Knicks team. So first off, why don't we shout out the peoples who have been out here waiting for the show? Shout out to Walter Blackman. He says good evening. Ron in the panel. Craig is in the building. Yeah, man. Blame it on the Payne. Yes, sir. A little Cameron action. We're going to talk about it. Andios NYK in the building. Salute. Peace, love, blessings to all. Hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the show. Appreciate you, Andios, as always. Good to see you. Kerry Cox is in the building. Salute. Peace, my brother. Hope you're doing well. We got Jeremy Nussbaum in the building. He says Miles McBride is gone. The Knicks will trade Miles McBride for Walker Kessler. We'll see. Who knows? You could be right. If they're still, I don't know. I think that price tag for Walker Kessler is pretty high, so they may be rethinking that. There's other options out there too, though. Shout out to Dwayne Dennis in the building. Salute, Dwayne. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Leon Rose must have something up his sleeves. He must be working on something else, especially when our immediate need is for a 5 center position. If not, I'm confused with having so many guards. I hear you. Shout out to Kenny Payne in the building. What up, Kenny Payne? Appreciate you. He says, I love talking about Payne, usually myself. Always, brother, always. Hector Cabrera is in the building. What up, Hector? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and being in the chat with us, man. Shout out to Sherwin. What's good, Sherwin? Appreciate you. D-More914 in the building. Salute. What's going on? Georgie Ortiz is in the building. Salute. He says, salute, everyone. I can't stop laughing. I still can't believe we got campaign. Now I'm going to have to get used to that awkward shot of his. Not only the awkward shot, his personality, his dance moves. Like, oh, it's okay. It is what it is.
We had a lot of jokes when he was in Philly.
Facts. I'm like, damn it. Shout out to JJ in the building. What up, JJ? He says, salute, Ron and John. What's good? Coach Sire is in the building. Still Knicks fans. Ron and John, what's good? Appreciate you. Jean-Marc is in the building. Hi, Ron and everyone. Salute. Appreciate you. Lion of Judah is in the building. What's going on? Says, shalom, my brothers, Ron and John. Blessings to the chat panel and good evening. We got Julian Blum in the building. What up? JB in the building. What's going on? He says, salute, Ron and John in the building. And let's see. That's pretty much everybody. Yeah, I got everybody. Okay, cool. I don't know the particulars. When you say would either team be giving up picks in regards to like a Walker Kessler trade or another big man, let me know who you mean, Coach. Craig asks an interesting question. All right. Well, before we get into that, let's get into what happened. Shout out to Rick Z in the building. Salute. What's good? And shout out to Snipes Entertainment. What's going on, Snipes? Good to see you. All right. So, as you guys have heard, seeing in the chat, and you already know yourself probably, the Knicks have made another acquisition. They have picked up Cameron Payne. So, according to Shams, free agent Cameron Payne has agreed to a 1-year, $3.1 million deal with the New York Knicks. Sources tell The Athletic. Yeah, man, Cameron Payne. The one thing we can say about Cameron Payne is that he is, I would say he's a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, even when the Knicks played Philadelphia and we were giving Philadelphia the business, Cameron Payne went out there. He was acting like we weren't no big deal. He did what he had to do while he was out there. He hit some nice shots for them. He got a weird, funky shot, but some shots was going in. And he's one of those people that the moment doesn't seem too big for him. So what do you think about Cameron Payne, John?
I like his game. I mean, he's not the best defender, but he is someone who's going to be able to, be a floor general, someone who can really play the point guard position. I like that for this particular team, I like that he has history playing alongside Mikal Bridges. I think that's the biggest upside, to this trade, or to this signing, I should say. It's not a trade. I think more importantly is that he has that experience. He's been in the playoffs. He's played at a high level for, quite some time now. He's starting to become more of a journeyman, right? In the world of basketball, just because he's played for about, I want to say about 4 to 5 teams already in his career. I'm not sure what his age is, but he's probably close to 27, I want to say.
That's a good
maybe
guess. Let's see.
I'm assuming. And if he's younger, then that's even.
Oh no, he's 20. He's 29.
29. Okay, so he's up there in age. So he's a solid veteran. He has a lot of experience, and I think that the biggest thing is that he understands how to run a team. He knows how to be a lead guard in this league. I recall in Phoenix, he did cover for Chris Paul when he got injured. So I think this is a player that Tibbs will like. You know what I mean? I think he plays a type of basketball. He's tough. He's not gonna, like I said, he's not the best defender, but he's tough. So he makes up for it in his attitude and his, aggressive nature, in his style of play. And like you said, he isn't scared of the big moment. You know what I mean? He's someone who can, you know, uh, give you really good effort. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his best attribute is that he gives you effort. You know what I mean? Um, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, he does play defense, but he's not the best at it. He's not someone who I think is going to lock you down. Um,
Right.
I've, I've seen him play against guys and get cooked. But like I said, he's aggressive, and he plays hard. So, and I think that's part of the reasoning for them signing him is someone who they needed someone to take on the more ball handling. You know, when Brunson's not on the court, they needed someone who they could rely on to do some of that ball handling. And I think he'll look good alongside, um, a DiVincenzo if DiVincenzo comes off the bench, and Josh Hart. And even if Deuce sticks with this team, which I think he will, I'm not assured that he will, but I think he will. And if he is, then that allows Deuce to play off ball, which is more to his strong suit. You know what I mean? So I like it. I like the player. I like the pick. I like the signing. I think is a good move by the Knicks.
Yeah, I was a little confused by it at first when I heard about it, but in the overall scheme of things, I could see why they did it, and it's something interesting because I was watching Steph, the Queen from Dope Soul Sports Talk, and the Queen's Court on the Nothing But Knicks channel. If you guys aren't familiar, and she was on Knicks and Bruises with Tony Crow and DJ Shuttle. And one of the things she was talking about with regards to like summer league players and the young guards like Rokas and Tyler Kolek, she was talking about being championship ready, right? If the Knicks have aspirations to win a championship, and if you're trying to build a championship roster, are you comfortable enough having a young rookie player or someone who doesn't have a lot of experience being your backup when you're going to be tested in really, hopefully deep playoff scenarios and pressure moments? And she felt like maybe when you're trying to go for that, maybe you need somebody a little bit more solidified, who's more comfortable in that role. And she didn't even know about the Cameron Payne, move at that point. So it kind of points to maybe she's right. Maybe the Knicks were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you get an opportunity like this. I mean, you don't overlook it, right? If you have the opportunity to bring in a guy who's what is he? He's 8 years in the league, 9 years in the league. How many years in the league is he in now?
Yep, you hit it. 8 years since 2000.
8.
Well, yeah, 2015-16 season. So
Yeah, so 8 years in the league, man. That's nothing to frown upon. You know what I mean? And he's still a capable shooter. And again, he's someone who you can heavily rely on to run an offense. You know what I mean? He understands the NBA game. He's really strong in pick and roll, which is key in today's NBA. He understands how to find his shooters, and then he can drive to the basket and score. He's got a strong layup package. But again, he's about 6'3" or so. You know what I mean? So he's not he's an average guard height. He's not gonna, kill you with his athleticism or anything like that. But he plays the game right. And like I said, he's one of those pesky type players, guy who's gonna, get under your skin, hit crucial shots. I mean, he did it to the Knicks, right? There were moments where we were like, we want to get these guys out of here. And then he came in, hit a couple of shots, they're back in the game. It's like he's one of those type of guys, you know what I mean? So, I can't be mad at the Knicks for making this decision. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's just you just got to get used to what's going on and the fact that the Knicks are moving in different directions and trying different things. I mean, of course, it does make you think, though. I mean, what does that mean in terms of bringing in another 6'3" type guard? How does that affect somebody like Deuce? We'll talk about that a little bit, but so we know what we're dealing with here. I'm going to put up numbers, right? But I'm putting up the numbers of Cameron Payne with Philadelphia. I could put up other numbers, but I think it's also good to see how he played with Philadelphia, which was a pretty decent team at the time, even though, you had injury concerns with Joel Embiid, but it shows you how he can fit with a team, especially when he doesn't have to carry the load. He doesn't have to be the starting point guard. You know what I mean? He can just go out there and play his game. So let's take a look at that.
And he was kind of the third backup off the bench, right? He wasn't even the second backup point guard.
Right. He wasn't even. Yeah, that's a good point.
At least for Philly, he wasn't.
That is a good point. Let's see here. So this is and how many games was this? This was 31 games with Philly. He played. I forgot he was with Milwaukee actually. This past year, he played 47 games with Milwaukee, but it's also a difference in minutes too. With Milwaukee, he played 14.9 minutes per game. With Philadelphia, he actually got 19.4. Now I don't know if he's getting 19.4 with the Knicks, but that just tells you there's a difference there. So as you guys can see, his numbers, 9.4 points per game, 1.8 rebounds. He's a 6'3" guard. Don't expect much there. 3.1 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.3 blocks. But he did shoot 41. I don't love that 41% from the field because league average is around 44. It is what it is. But he did shoot 38% from three and 91% from the free throw line, which that's always a good thing. You know what I mean? You like to see that. He's a career 82% free throw shooter anyway. So he knocks it down at a good clip. That's a good sign. Yeah, I mean, he's a decent player. He's solid. For his career, he's a 36.9%. So basically a 37% shooter from three. So, yeah, I mean, I think he kind of checks the box that the Knicks may be looking at, as well as what we thought they were doing when they were drafting Tyler Kolek, getting somebody who can come in, who can facilitate. He's been a starting point guard. He can pass the ball and create shots for people, and he can knock down the open three. And he's definitely a good free throw shooter as well.
And you also got to consider it's a depth move too. Like last season, because of all our injuries, we fell short of having enough depth and on our roster. And I think this year we're looking into that a little bit more stringent. We're not just going to be handing off contracts for players who we don't see being a part of our future. And I think like the Kolek got a deal already. He's got a signed contract. So I think they believe that he'll be a part of their future. Will he get an opportunity this year? Remains to be seen. They probably think that he still needs some time to mature, and they're going to do everything in their power to have him mature in the G League, as well as the rest of our picks. I don't see any of these young players outside of probably Toppin, coming in and being a part of our depth here with this year's Knicks. And then again, still early, right? We can still see more moves being made. So we don't necessarily know if Deuce is going to be tied into a potential trade, or if some of these young players may be added as well into a potential trade.
Right.
So there's opportunity, especially now that we got Brunson signed and that's locked away, and we're able to shave off some money, save a little money to potentially make trades happen. I think that's the biggest key, and I think they were just waiting for this to all be a part of everything that is taking place right now.
Yeah, agreed. Shout out to Hector Cabrera. He says it does smell like the Knicks are trading McBride for a center. Mark my word. Watch out for that kid in Detroit. I think that's the way to go. I mean, if the Knicks are actually trying to trade McBride or whatever package they're trying to come up for a backup center who could possibly start if they need, I think Duren is the way to go, because I just think that he's more obtainable. They could figure out something that works to get him. I like his upside. I like the fact that he's a strong rebounder. He's a physical specimen. He can shoot it a little bit. May not be able to stretch the floor as consistently as some other person, but he can shoot it a little bit. He gives you a little bit more offensive game than Mitch would give you. And he plays good defense. I mean, I hate to say that because Mitch doesn't get tested as much, I kind of feel like he might be better at shot blocking than Mitch is as well. Like his timing just might be a little bit better, slightly. So, I think that's not a bad look if they do decide to. I think the Walker Kessler stuff is too crazy, John. More stuff has come out. Like the price is crazy. It's too high.
Yeah, I wouldn't over pay for a guy like a Kessler. There are the moves that can be made, and I think the Knicks are exploring every opportunity to make those moves when they can make them. And I think they're just doing their due diligence right now, making sure that they could shore up the depth to this particular team this year, and to make sure that we don't run into the same circumstances that we did last year, where, God forbid, Jalen Brunson gets hurt and then he's gone for 20 games, and now we need to stay competitive. And knowing what we do know with Deuce is that he's a solid player, he's a solid contributor, but he's not a player right now at this very stage that can run an offense or run a team, a starting squad. I think he's a very defensive minded player, but as far as offensively, he needs some some growing to do there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with you on that. I hear you. So we'll see, guys. Who knows? I mean, definitely it kind of looks like, the Knicks are in position to make a move. And if they have to trade, Deuce, then so be it. But we just got to see, what happens. It's all up in the air right now.
I'll say this though: if they do decide to move off of Deuce for a player like a Duran, you could see Cameron Payne being a threat offensively, someone who we're going to heavily rely on and have heavy minutes to spell Brunson. I just I don't see it right now, but again, the potential's there for a trade, so could happen.
Right. I agree. I think you're definitely right about that, man. But we got to see what happens. Shout out to everyone in the chat tuning in right now. Please, if you haven't already done so, smash the like button and show your love for the show and everything that Still Knick Fans is doing. We are glowing and growing, trying to get to our 3,000 subscriber mark by the end of the summer and 5,000 by the end of the year. So we are currently at 2770 around there. So this number hasn't been updated, but we growing. So if y'all haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing as well if you like the content, and hit that like
300 button. Away. I love it.
Yeah, man, we right there. So thank you guys for tuning in and supporting us, man. We appreciate it. All right. So, dude, I don't know if you had a chance. I mean, you've been busy. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. Did you have a chance to check out that first Summer League game?
I seen just the one. I seen the one against.
That's it. That's all we played so far.
That's all we played. Okay.
Yeah. The next one is tomorrow.
Okay. So I might be able to watch tomorrow's game, depending on what time I get home. But
cool.
Yeah. What time are they playing? At 8 tomorrow?
No, it's early again. I think it's afternoon, 4:30 maybe.
Oh, I'm not gonna see it. I'll miss that one. I have to record it.
You might have to watch the replay.
Yeah. No, but I caught the one with Charlotte. I thought that was it's an interesting game. I like what these kids were showing. And there was, but it's also funny because Summer League is where though you got your newly drafted players coming in, and they're not being played heavy minutes either. Like they're coming off the bench, and some of them that are starting are also not getting their looks. They're not getting their touches. But you got guys like Jeffries, who's not Jeffrey. Who was the gentleman who was it? Daquan Jeffries, or maybe?
Oh, who was
cooking
his?
What was his name?
Man, I just had his name, man.
There was someone who was scoring a lot of our buckets, but
sorry, I got to cheat, guys. Boom.
It's not.
I'm cheating.
It was
Dwayne Washington Jr.
Dwayne Washington, right there. It was that Dwayne Washington, because Jeffries ain't on it. Is Jeffries on that team? Jeffries is no longer with the Knicks. Yeah, So yeah, Washington Jr. was trying to get his. You know what I mean? He's vying for a 10.
Hey, is he?
You know, like a 10-day contract. You know what I mean? So um, it was one of those things where you're looking at the way the game is being played, and it's like you see the guys who are trying to get theirs, and they're not really playing into any of the rookies. You know, they're not looking for the rookies to get any action, basically. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
That's kind of hard to see, you know, and you see them chucking up shots that they could be, you know, making the hockey assist, you know. So
yeah. So as I was watching it with the Lawrence Tears Network on playback. Thank you to Uncle
nice.
Freezy for airing the game on there and talking about it, which is pretty cool. So if y'all haven't checked out Lawrence Tears on playback, please do. It's a pretty cool experience. Listen to them chop it up, but also you get to watch the game too. And the concern when people were watching was, you know, and no offense to Dwayne Washington, but no, Dwayne Washington's not.
He's probably not going to make the team.
Yeah, you know, so to watch him get busy and take a lot of shots, I get it for him. Like he's trying to wind up
trying to get a contract somewhere.
Yeah. But it kind of took a little bit away from other guys' opportunities. But you know, the one thing about Summer League, that's why I don't go too crazy with it. If you watch Summer League, at least Knicks Summer League in the past, they have a certain way they do things, right? So the first game, you may see somebody start, you may see somebody get the lion's share of everything. And then the second game or the third game, they'll switch it up. And it may not even be done the same way. And certain guys might not even play at all. So don't stress it too much. You know, Dwayne Washington got his moment. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe, you know, he's not even playing as much. Tomorrow they play the Brooklyn Nets, just so everybody's 4:30 Eastern. I don't know if it's going to be on it's going to be on NBA TV. So there you go. 4:30 Eastern, NBA TV tomorrow. Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Knicks Summer League.
I like the kid. Was a Ball? He had some good defense. He was a point guard.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how you say it. It was a Ball or Bo? Bo. I don't know. Yeah, but he looks good.
Yeah, he's solid.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but he looks good. Yeah, he's got a little quickness to him. He's not afraid either. So I will hope that we get to see a little bit more of him in the next two games to see what his game looks like. He's another one, of course, that, you know, we may not have a spot for him, but it's just, you know, you never know.
Interesting to see what the G League players look like, and you know, there's some talent there. I will say that I was impressed with Kolik's minutes and how he played in those minutes. I would have liked to see you know, him have the opportunity to shoot more. You know, but again, I think he did everything he could do with the minutes he was given. You know what I mean? And so for that, I think he was sort of like, for me, you know, the standout for me. You know, because that's a guy who I was looking forward to seeing. There wasn't anyone else who I was really paying mind to outside of him. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that Kolik looked really good out there. He looked really comfortable. And his numbers were really good. I think he finished with like 3 steals or something like that, but he had 7 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. So yeah, he looked pretty solid out there, and he definitely could have had more assists. Guys weren't necessarily knocking down the shots. And there was, I mean, he was making stuff happen, but it shows you his level of creation, because he was making stuff happen in some tight spots. And part of that is the reason why it necessarily didn't work out, because guys were a little clustered. So that's one thing about them. They definitely got to work on their spacing. You know, they look kind of a little tight together sometimes, but I liked what I saw from him. I'm really entertained by the idea of having him on the bench. And if the Knicks need to call his number, I think he can do some special things for them.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We'll see.
And he didn't look like he was pressing. You know what I mean? He let the game come to him. He wasn't trying to go out there and do too much. You know what I mean? He took what the defense gave him. Defensively, doesn't look like he's ready. You know what I mean? But again, it could be the schema, you know, that they were running. Maybe he, you know, is not supposed to, you know, stay with his guy. Maybe he's supposed to just, slip on the pick and roll and stay with the opposing player. I mean, I don't
Right.
know. So again, it all depends on what we see more of. The one guy who I was surprised that I felt like was pressing was Jokovitis. I felt like he was pressing, like he was trying hard to show that he belongs.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I would say that that is the interesting thing. Because I know Rokas Jokovitis is a solid basketball player. He didn't look that great in this game. He started to warm up a little bit later in the game, but he just didn't look comfortable yet. And there could be a lot attributed to that. Him trying to make a statement like, "Oh, I'm still here. I can ball." He's got some pressure with Kolek being there, and
Washington was jacking it up.
Washington was jacking it up.
It's one of those things.
I feel like that Washington kind of took away from minutes that Rokas could have got. But he's a scorer too, and you needed somebody to score. So I don't know,
It was a weird game because it's like we were down early, you know what I mean, and then the comeback came. But I don't necessarily think the comeback was because of Washington. However, he did score some buckets, so it's like he was a guy who knocked down the shots that he was given. So you got to give him credit for that.
Right.
But yeah, there's just I think the momentum swings, and I thought Kolek was help with that, so sort of cutting down the lead, and then we had a moment, and I don't even know the big's name, but he sold on a layup that was crazy. It was like he was down like 5, and he sold on a layup. I was like,
that was Jacob Toppin.
No, it wasn't. It was the big.
Oh wait! At the end of you're not talking about the end of the show. At the end of the game.
No, I was talking about okay. They were like losing, and they were down by like 5 or something like that, and they gave it to the big, and the big, it wasn't Toppin though. It was it was a Russian dude or something.
Because Toppin sold on the layup to tie the game.
Oh yeah, that was Toppin.
Yes.
It was Toppin. Oh man,
yes,
I didn't realize it was Toppin.
They did. They did a double curl. They did a double curl with the 2 guards, and then they swung Toppin around the same trailer, and he had the ball, and he missed the layup. Like he tried to off a weird angle. He tried to bank it off the backboard. I don't know why he didn't just lay it up in the hoop. He's tall enough with on that leaping. Like, what are we doing, Toppin?
Skipantsev, I think it was too, who also missed one. That center. It was wild. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But again, we'll see how it goes. I don't see none of these guys coming up this season, especially now that we just brought in Cameron Payne, and it looks like all signs look like they're looking for a big with some experience to come in and bolster our bench. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's one of them things, man. Like you just hope that what the good you take the good from it, right? Because I will say this: Jacob Toppin looked pretty good.
I like his game.
This is the best I've ever seen him. I know it's summer league, but he got to play and he looked good.
His G League, he did some things in the G League. He was solid during this year's G League, and I think were the Knicks world champions in the G League.
I don't know if they won.
I know they were
I'm
there.
not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, if that helped him with his game, definitely, I love to see it. So keep it going. I mean, he's right now. Like if we were just looking at the tail of the tape and what's going on, he's got a spot on the roster. Like he would earn, to me, from one summer league game, he would have earned a spot on the roster. Doesn't mean he's going to play at all, but I mean, just from what he did, I can see that he can be on the bench. You know, if worse come to worse and you need some or somebody, you know, you can get some garbage time in a blowout. You know, I could see that. How did you feel? Because when I'm looking at top, and I'm also comparing him to our other guy that we picked up that's of similar height in Pacom Dadier. How did you feel about Dadier's game?
I thought, from what I could tell, Dadier looks like he's going to be a solid NBA player. You know, he has what does stand out is his height and his length. Right? Pause. Like he's got the attributes of an NBA player right now, and I like that he was aggressive and going to the basket. He wasn't settling for a jump shot. You know what I mean? There were moments in the game that he did shoot, and didn't. Did he shoot an air ball? I think in one of those shots. Can't recall if he did or he didn't.
Did he shoot an air ball? I think he. I can't remember. He did. I don't know.
I thought he did though, but I like that he was aggressive. I mean, he didn't score a lot of points. He only probably score 4 points, something like that. But I think his presence was felt on the game. You know what I mean? I think he was he did what he could do, defensively, and I think that's what I like to see. Yeah, he did airball two air balls early in the game. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Shout out to the chat once again. Appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. D-Block. I love doing that, by the way. Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you. Jet Life for Life in the building. He said McBride's greater than Payne, but Duran is greater than McBride. I see your point. Sherwin asked an interesting question. Should the Knicks trade one of the Villanova players to win a championship? Can the Knicks win a championship if we don't trade Hart or DiVincenzo to get that defensive athletic shooting center?
I don't even know who that is. Who's a defensive athletic shooting center currently in the NBA? Who is that? Well,
so here's the question, guys. Look, someone else said this. I don't want to take the credit.
There's a 3 combo. What is that? Who is that?
That's somebody special. That's what that is.
Like, I haven't seen him.
I mean, defensive and shooting center, that's Jokic. Defensive and shooting center, that's Embiid. But the athleticism, that's
I don't
different.
See it. That's what I was saying. I'm like, wait, what?
but to your point, well, here's my point. First off, once again, this New York Knicks team made it to the second round, to Game 6, without Julius, without Mitch, without OG, without Bojan. Like, I know that's not saying that if we had those guys, we necessarily win a championship. All I'm trying to say is we are better suited to compete for a championship and would have made it further, right? So get that out of here, right? Then you say, well, who won the championship? Boston. Their center was Porzingis. But even though Porzingis did make an impact in one of those games, right? Did they really win because of Porzingis? No. They were spanking teams when Porzingis was out. Like in the regular season and in the playoffs.
They were solid with their bench center. And, so like Al Horford played a really impressive,
and the ex-Knick played well too.
Oh man,
gee,
the chat's gonna help.
The chat knows who it is. You guys know who their backup center is. The ex-Knick. So when I think they could win a championship without getting that trifecta of excellence that you put at the defensive, athletic, and shooting is tough.
I'll give it to Aaron. Aaron Christmas put Jaren Jackson Jr. I would say, yeah, that would be the one. Athletic, shooting center, defensive. Oh, the Pacers have one potentially in their center. I would say he's sort of athletic.
Miles Turner. Yeah. I mean, but there's you take the good with the bad, right? There's always a trade-off. Bam is interesting. He's not really a center, but for Miami he is.
Right.
For Miami he is. Right. So yeah, Bam would be someone like that. You could slot him in.
Anthony Davis.
He plays big enough.
Maybe. They're starting to come to me. I was like, who the hell are we talking about here?
I don't know. I'm not necessarily sold on the fact that we need that trifecta. I think if we get 2 of those 3, we're okay. And
I know the chat will help us out. Luke Cornett.
Luke Cornett. Thank you guys. Man. So I'm not sure, Sherwin. That's a good question though. It's interesting. I'm not sure if we need that though.
KP.
But
I don't see KP as strong.
See, that's the thing. KP is like, shout out to
he's
Uncle
always
Freezy.
injured. That's why I'm like always not paying attention to his athleticism.
And that's like I was making a case for KP, but shout out to Uncle Freezy from Florence Tears. He was like, well, look, we really look at KP, how much of what Boston did was in spite of KP. Like he wasn't always around. They were still winning without him. And their offense isn't focused on him either. So, it depends on how you build your team. It depends on how you build the guys. So we'll see. I don't know. Like I said before, with this Knicks team, we may not be the offensive juggernaut that Boston is or some other teams might be, but we could really make a statement on the defensive side. And we have enough offense to be there with teams and blow out certain teams, especially if we got Julius out there along with Brunson, along with some of the stuff that Matteo can hit, from angles. You got OG hitting from angles. Then you got Devo coming off the bench, 200 plus threes as a starter. Like you got some stuff that you can use that.
And now Cameron Payne, because Cameron Payne's a shooter.
Yeah,
he's a shooter. And if you keep Deuce, he's also shown he can shoot over 40% if given the opportunity. So, you go small in that case, but you know what I mean? Like you can switch things around.
We'll see. We'll see. Shout out to Ranrock in the building. He said, I did not like it when we played Philly. We was talking about Cam. He got on my nerves. Yeah, that's what he does. And so that's the thing, guys. He gets under your skin and he's annoying, but we don't really got that. So maybe having one on our side is not a bad thing.
Sure.
Yeah, now that's a guy that now I want, let's talk about 2 annoying people. I want him guarding like Halliburton or something. Like annoy each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could get up and he could definitely get there. He's one of those players. But again, there's gonna be moments where he get cooked too. Like he'll get cooked.
He's gonna get cooked. That's true. Let me see if I can fix this a little bit. I'm a little off. That's better. I mean, a little better because this thing is a little wonky. There we go. Okay, so now that being said, who else we got in here? Let me see. Shout out to Deron Wayne, member of Still Knicks fans. Salute, Deron. Yeah, he signed the vet minimum. Yep, that's right. Shout out to Paris Duggan in the building. He said Cam Payne competes and knows his role and hits big momentum shots.
So
like I said,
he
does do that. Shout out to Glamour Knicks. What's going on, girl? How you doing?
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well. Let's see. AP is in the building. What's good, AP? Good to see you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Sharice Duncan is in the building. What's going on, Sharice? Cam was cooking us in that Philly series. Yeah, he had some moments where he got on my nerves. It's true. So Knickerbocker is here. Sorry to say this, but I believe Deuce is going to be involved in a trade. Yeah, you may not be the only one who feels that way.
It might be true.
David Smith is in the building. Says salute to Ron and John in the chat. Good to see you, David. Building Blocks is in the building. Detroit doesn't need Deuce. Yeah, I don't know what Detroit needs, guys. I don't know what they're looking for or what they want to do, but Deuce is a player that can switch. Like, remember, they got rid of or they lost Killian Hayes, right? They finally moved off of that situation. I don't know who else they drafted. I didn't pay attention too much to what they did. But he might be able to be an upgrade over somebody, one of those guards over there, and it might help their defense. Because the one thing about them, and they got some guys who can score. They got a kid on their bench who lit the Knicks up one time. I forgot his name. Of course, it's the proverbial. He's going to drop 20 on the Knicks. The guy you don't know about. He did that,
right?
But I don't know if they got a lot of defensive answers over there.
But they also they just signed Harris to a multi-year deal as well to go along with Cunningham and you know, and what's the kid's name? The other guard, fast guard. I like the kid.
Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, yeah, Jaden Ivey, solid player. So
That's a
they
good
got a
point,
big
man. I
team.
don't know.
They got a big team. So starting minutes are gonna be at a premium because those guys already have locked down their positions in the starting unit. So it's really about what they got on the bench. You know what I mean? And if Deuce is a player that they're looking to have off the bench, then it could be a good fit.
Right.
But I know Grimes got traded to. I think Kerry Cox was asking where did Grimes go. Grimes did.
Oh, he's in Dallas.
Dallas. That's what it was, right?
With Luka, Kyrie, and now Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Shout out to Wayne Peterson. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Nick Yak is in the building. He said the 4 years Mitch didn't get hurt. 310 possible games. He played 260. He missed 50 games in those 4 years. Average missed games 13 a year. Yeah, well, that's true.
When you average it out, it ain't that bad. But
yeah, it's just that. Listen, the only thing that's is the most recent. What have you done for me lately? And this past year, he missed 50 games. So that's all it is. That's what's going to stick in people's minds, and that's what an organization has to think about too going forward. Like, is this just a one-off? Like, he gets hurt, but this was a really bad injury. Is it going to get better again? You never know what a guy who does. It's not about injury prone with Mitch. It's about the type of injuries Mitch gets. These are like just service injuries. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just regular wear and tear. He gets injured, but he gets injured doing just normal stuff.
My concern is that does it become a hindrance to him because it becomes a part of his thinking process? You know what I mean? Like, there are players who get hurt and are able to come back because they believe in their work. They believe in their rehab to the work. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily know if he believes in the work that he puts in the off season, as far as the therapy and the training on those legs. Because it always seems like he'll start off the season good and then he'll tweak an ankle and then he's playing very gingerly. And then he's like, I see him falling on the floor a lot. And it's like, dude, you should not be falling on the floor that often, at that size. You want to have a good foundation under you. And I don't necessarily know if he believes in it,
Right. That's a good point. And Deron Wayne says now Payne can't be traded until December. Okay, well, all right.
Yeah,
so
he won't be traded
unless
she's a part of a package, like during the trade deadline. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Jimmy F.
Could also happen, right? Like, that's depending on where we are at, and during the season.
So shout out to DN. Salute to you. This might be my first time seeing you in any of our chats. Thank you for being here. And please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. And smash that subscribe if you like the show and the content. We'd love to have you. I don't necessarily think this means that Precious won't be back. Like, Cam signed the veteran minimum, but the Knicks also have the mid-level exception. So I don't know if they're going to use it on Precious, but I believe it's still available that they can use it. So we'll see. Doesn't mean they're done, but I do think that they are actively. So a lot of people were saying that the Knicks may be trying to set up a deal where they can make a trade for a backup center that could possibly start if need be. But what they're trying to do is set it up so that they get the deal in play, see what the team wants. If they can get something where it's just Deuce and some in a pick or two, fine. But if they can't do it that way, they could possibly do a sign and trade with Precious. So add Precious to the deal with Deuce with a pick, something like that. I don't know.
I seen that in an article that was sort of attached to a move for Chicago's what's his name? Vucevic?
Oh, Vucevic?
Vucevic, yeah. That's what I seen, that kind of sign and trade deal to go to Chicago for Vucevic. But I don't know if Vucevic is a Tibbs type player. I just don't see it right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the
Good
defensive
offensive
side
guy,
of
but
things. Offensively, he's solid, and he'll definitely stretch the floor. I mean, he used to give Mitch nightmares sometimes, dragging him way out. But we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Is because
he's
the
a
Knicks
bit slow-footed. A bit slow-footed. You know,
he is slow-footed.
That's that doesn't help your cause on the offensive side really if you're trying to get up and down the court.
But if there's a dynamic, right, to have the two levels of dynamic, the two extremes, having the defensive big in Mitch who can lock down the paint, be your rim protector, and then being able to hit them with a different look and bring Vucevic in, who starts knocking down threes and stretching the floor.
But the question
is,
I don't even think you make a play on Vucevic, he starts, and now you move. I don't think he's coming off the bench. I don't think
that's a good point too.
He's a veteran. You know, he's not over the hill yet. You know what I mean? He's looking for another contract. I don't think, you know, his management and his people aren't going to go for that.
But either way, you know, that's not such a bad thing either. I mean, that's the flexibility that the Knicks have. Even if Vooch, say we got Vooch and Vooch had to start, the combination of having, you know, OG and McCall out there really locking down the perimeter, because most of the scoring in the NBA comes from perimeter-based guys. Yes, you get the Jokic's and the Embiid, but really most teams, they're guys that you got to worry about are perimeter-based or them guard-type guys. And if the Knicks can do a good enough job locking those guys down, having a shooting center in a Vucevic that may be a little bit of a defensive liability is not as much of a hindrance, because you know when the bench starts to come in, now you got a bench of Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Mitchell Robinson. And so you got a nice little trade-off of the defensive offense. Like sometimes, because it might be bad to have so much defense in the starting lineup. Like you might save that for like the playoffs or something, depending on the matchup when you really need to win games. But in the regular season, maybe the Knicks don't want to go too heavy like that if they could, to avoid it. Because having all that defense and then not, you know, I don't know. It
would be interesting to see. I just don't know what I'll be looking forward to. You know what I mean? To start the season, I think he would figure it out. I think he's a quality NBA player. Obviously, he's a very skilled NBA player. He's a skilled big. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Chicago to know if he's a liability on defense or not. You know, I just know he's not going to give you the rim protection. He's not a guy who's going to, you know, block shots like that, like a Hartenstein or Mitch. You know, I don't see that in this game, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Let me just put this charging wire on. This laptop's getting a little low here.
Let's see who we.
Okay, we back, baby. Yeah. All right, and then the thing is, if we get Vucevic, if he hits threes, I could do my little Vucci Wally Wally, Vucci Bang Bang. You know what I mean?
It's funny.
Oh man! Shout out to Aaron. Christmas in the building. Salute, Aaron. Thank you for being here in the chat. Good to see you. He said Deuce being off the table is crazy. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, the Knicks are at that now. Nobody's off the table. I mean, obviously, you know, there's certain people, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
But they're all in. You know, like
they're all in now.
Surprise me. You know, I think the guys who we know are planning, who are going to be here, who have solidified their spots, are the Villanova, you know, crew. You know, it's all four of them are sticking. OG sticking. Randall for now. I think he will start the season with the Knicks. And then everyone else is sort of, you know, whoever else is there available, maybe up for grabs. You know what I mean? Right, depending on if it's the right deal to make.
Yeah. And I see AP was talking about Rokas. He said, I expected better. Listen, don't be surprised, like I said, if one of these two, and plus these are back-to-back games tomorrow and the next day. Don't be surprised if one of these games Rokas gets to start to see what he can do and control the offense, and maybe Tyler Kolek plays less. We'll see. Shout out to Walter White. He said you probably won't see Kolek for 2 years. I mean, who knows, man? You might be right, man. Because the way this Knicks team is stacked, guys. I mean, what they're doing now is just shoring up possible holes just in case anything happens. But they've got a stacked roster. We got a good squad over there.
The Knicks are building their farm system as we speak. They got talent in the G League right now, and we hadn't had that in the past. So now we got some guys who can actually come in if necessary on a 10-day contract, or if there's injuries that are plaguing the New York Knicks, we got some guys who come in and play some minutes for us. But this is not the team that we're expecting young players to come in and play heavy minutes. It's not what
Right.
we should be expecting this year. So, those guys are going to be given time to mature. I actually wouldn't mind seeing in the summer league, Kolek and Jokubaitis play together. Actually, I would love to see that more.
Yeah, they had them on the court at the same time a little bit than the last game. But I think at some points Dwayne Washington was out there too. They went really small, and he was still getting was still calling his own number. He got me, not for nothing, not to really go crazy on Dwayne Washington, but there was one play that he got me a little hot. I'm like, I get it, bro. Dude, there was like a fast break. The Knicks had 3 guys ahead of him pushing the break. He still called his own number. And I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Shout out to Melvin Upshur. What's going on, bro? They're looking for a starting center, not backup. Well, if that's the case, then maybe Vucevic is somebody that they're really considering.
And how much of that Sengun talk you think is actually true?
It's dead. It's dead. The Sengun talk is dead, guys. Houston put out a statement yesterday or the day before yesterday, and they said that we are not actively looking to trade any of our young players.
Yeah, that kid is good, man. Yeah, I was surprised to even see that. When I seen it, I was like, Sengun. Why would they want to do that when they're young talent and they're getting a lot more athleticism coming their way? So
yeah, and if they do it, they're not going to do it now. They'll probably they're going to get something out of this guy for at least half the season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Building Block said just signed Shackton a food star JaVale McGee. I mean, listen, it could come down to that. It could come down to that.
I would not mind someone with his experience on this team. And that's a player who wouldn't mind coming off the bench. He wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't be pressed for minutes. You know what I mean? And probably he could teach, Robinson some stuff, possibly. Hopefully not a lot of the, Shackton a fool stuff that he's gotten, projected on. But I think he's been a solid backup, in this league for quite some time now.
Right. Shout out to George Jones. What's good? Hope you're doing well.
DeAndre Jordan is still available too, right? Or is he locked in with that?
But
aging?
I don't know. I don't know what you get out of this guy at this point. I don't know.
But what do you need? You need spell minutes, and you need a big who can defend, really.
But the thing is, they also want a guy who could some people are saying the Knicks are looking for a starting center, but others are like they want a guy who can start and who can play that backup role and be comfortable in it. So it's like you got to find somebody who's capable of starting, but won't mind being the backup. Or you just find a starter.
You got to find a starter. If that's the case, you ain't gonna find that middle guy who's gonna, they're not gonna find him. And if he's unless you trade for a Duren, something like that. That's what I mean. But that kid has all the upside, right? You know what I mean? He has all the potential to be a solid center, and he's only 2 years in the league, right? So, he's got time to develop.
Nick P says Giannis is the next big move. Milwaukee ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I think the Knicks have kind of exhausted their capital in order to make a trade like that happen because they gave up all the picks for Macau. Mm-hmm. They would have to kind of Giannis move would have to be the Knicks tried something and it didn't work out with the current group that they got, right? Then they could say, all right, now we're trading Julius, we're trading something else, then we'll trade these other picks that we've acquired. Like something would have to fall apart before
there wouldn't be there wouldn't be a full Nova Knicks squad anymore.
Right.
Some guys will have to go.
Right. Shout out to Joe Curry in the building. What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think I've seen you in the chat, but we welcome you. He said, wait, we signed Cameron Payne. My question, why we needed to re-sign Precious Achiuwa? Well, we didn't re-sign Precious Achiuwa yet. So I know they talked about it, but it never officially happened, right? And they're still working with Precious. They might re-sign him, but it hasn't happened. So that's what's going on. Sims, we didn't have to re-sign because he's still under contract for another year. And by the way, guys,
let's not forget though, Sims is going to have an opportunity with this year's Knicks. Like the way Tiz has operated in the past is that after year 4, year 3, potentially, if this is what we're going in with for the future, he's going to give Sims every opportunity to lose his position on this Knicks roster. You know what I mean? He's shown that enough in years past where he's given the players who've been in this team, an opportunity at the very least to win their minutes.
Right. 100%. Shout out to Jabroni Z. Thank you. He was talking about Cornette when we were trying to find out who the big man was. Shout out to Artman, formerly known as Steve. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Thank you for putting that Luke Cornette in there as well. I also wanted to say, shout out to David Parker. Appreciate you, Brian. Good to see you. I also wanted to say that, not to put him on the hot seat, but Parrish Duggar has a theory. He says on August 5th, the Knicks could make a move because on August 5th, we could actually trade Tyler Kolek. He actually believes we're going to put a package together with Tyler Kolek and not necessarily Deuce to get a big man. So we'll see.
That wouldn't surprise me. But for which team? Like what the team is looking for a Kolek type player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I don't know. Aaron Christmas says Santi Aldama. Remember him? Aldama? He's the big man from Memphis who could shoot the three. I believe it's from Memphis. I think if I'm not mistaken. Well, I don't even know if he's still with Memphis. I think he's with another team now. He was with Memphis, but I think he's somewhere else now. If I'm not mistaken. But he could shoot the rock. I know that. Shout out to Jay from PR in the building. What's good? Appreciate you. When KP was around, they were dominant. True. But they were like I said, he's gravy. They were already smacking teams without KP. With KP, it just made it even worse. It's like, yeah. Shout out to King Ribby in the building. What up, King Ribby? And 595-76800 in the building. That's an interesting name there. He said Deuce is gone. We'll see. Right. Yeah, I don't think Precious is going to be. I don't know. It depends on what they see for. I just let's not forget that Randall's coming off of a shoulder injury. If he has to play against the bigs and the centers, they'll do it. But I think they're trying to avoid it if it doesn't have to happen. Like you got to make sure he's healthy first, and that shoulder is right.
Why would you want to go small on a regular basis? Like that's not something you would really want to do. Like in moments you do. Like you utilize that to your advantage, but I don't think you're gonna go off rip, trying to play a team like the 76ers with Randall as a starting center. Like that's just not gonna fare well for him.
Yeah. Shout out to David Parker. Yeah, this is ridiculous, bro. Not for nothing. We're getting a little crazy with it. Like the Knicks just said, oh yeah, you got a lefty, we'll take him. Like we are in love with the lefty PGs, but we're in love with lefty players. Randall, Huck Porty, Kolek, Brunson, Payne. Like we are getting crazy with these lefties right now.
It's the new NBA, bro. Lefties are hard to match up against.
Yeah. Shout out to Kamal Hillard. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in, man. I think this might be the first time we see you in the chat. He said, LL Duran is a good player, but he's not in the same galaxy as Skinny Shaq Robinson defensively. I'd rather have New York homeboy Isaiah Stewart from Detroit. He's another person that was on the Knicks wish list, but the problem is he just doesn't have the height to really guard centers. Like Joel Embiid, those guys will they'll cook Isaiah Stewart. He'll fight, and he has defended them well in the past, but he also gets cooked because of the size. Like there's only so much you can do when you're 6'8" guarding a true 7-footer.
Yeah.
But
This
he's
is why
a solid player.
The Daniel Tices of the world are going to have a hard time finding a team. You know what I mean? Because they play good defensively, they're aggressive, they're good rebounders, but they just don't have the height and the weight to go against these bigger centers.
Right. Agreed. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here, guys. But before we go, Soulfinger 12, what's going on, brother? Good to see Soulfinger. Always a pleasure, bro. L, damn it, in the building. She says, smash that like button. What up, L? Pew, pew. There you go. Let me see here. Yes, show Ron and John some love. Thank you, L. Who's also a member of Still Knicks Fans, by the way. Appreciate you, L. Thank you.
Oh.
Wiz BKLA in the building says, salute SKF team. Even you, Ron, with your 2 left feet. Whatever. You know, like I get down, they not like us. You ain't ready. Come on, man. Allah Wise is in the building. Salute, Allah. What's good, brother? All right. So, man, thank you, 713 Gamer. Fliggity, a member of Still Knicks Fans. He says, Mind Fizzle back in the building. You know how we do. Yes. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Hey, Jiggerman Porto's in the building. What up, fam? Positively Porto is here, folks. That's right. If you're feeling bad, now you got to be feeling great because Positively Porto is in the building. Please check Positively Porto out with his morning show at 9 a.m. Just type in Positively Porto, and you're gonna get good vibes, man. He usually rocks from 9 to 10, and puts you in a good mood to get your day started. I tell you, no matter what you mad about, because we all go through stuff. You have a bad day, or the day started off bad, or you just like, I gotta go to work. I know what I gotta do today. He gets you in a good headspace, man. Make you start. You laugh a little bit. Get right through it, man.
He helps out my drive into Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Definitely does.
There you go. Shout out to Al Hershon. Thank you for being here. He says, "Cat." That's the other thing, John. We've talked about Cat in the past, and Cat in the Hat is back in the chat. Woo wee!
You with bars,
man. Listen, Cat is back on everybody's timeline with regards to the New York Knicks. You think that's real?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Cat. I just don't. You know what I mean? It's gonna be if it happens. I understand. I get it. It's gonna take me some time to get to that place. You know what I'm saying? Where I have to root for a guy who is just not that guy. Not like, meaning he's a good basketball player. I won't take away what he can do on the basketball court, but just as a individual, he isn't that guy. You know what I mean? He's kind of like your extremely nerdy friend who means well, but sometimes says the oddest things. And you're like, bro, what? You get what I'm saying? You feel me? Is that a good analogy? Because I'm like thinking right now of one of my nerdiest friends, and I'm like, dude, I always have to slow him down a bit. Like, yo,
stop. I'm trying not to talk about it, bro. I can't get over the voice changes, man. He goes from like, imagine if I was just talking here and I'm like, yeah, thank you for tuning into SKF. Hi, how are you guys doing? Like, what is going on, man?
But then he says some strange things when he's on interviews. Like, it'd be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, and I like how he explained the whole Jimmy Butler situation and all that. Like, I was just like, come on, man.
Cat's a weird cat, not for nothing. And watch, now that we said all this, Cat will be a New York Knicks tomorrow, folks. Like,
listen, I think he's just a smart guy. I just think he's a very intelligent guy, and sometimes those brainiacs don't. It's a hard mix when you bring them into a clubhouse. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have like-minded people who are willing to overlook certain attributes that come along with a player like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shout out to Building Blocks. Knicks are trading Rokas rights very soon. I think that might happen. I think no matter what, even if Rokas balls out, I like the next 2 games he could do something historic, and I do think the Knicks might. I think the Knicks might consider trading his rights. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what we get from trading rights as opposed to having a guy on the contract, but you know. Shout out to Abe Fox, another person I haven't seen in the chat. You know, welcome. Thank you. Hope you like the show. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you like the content. The Knicks' greatest strength currently is depth. Trading that for a center that might not displace what Tibbs gets from Mitch will rob us of what makes us scary. That's an interesting point. Interesting point. I honestly, I'm not going to lie. I do like the fact that we have somebody like Mitch who, you know, can really get busy on defense. Having OG, having Macau, and then also having Deuce. I feel like the Knicks could be terrors on the perimeter. I feel like we can drive teams insane. But you know, sometimes you can't have everything. You know what I mean? The bottom line is the Knicks have already shown they do not want to do what, like John said, they don't want to go back to what happened last year. They want to be well prepared. And they're not trying to take chances. They're all in. And when you go all in, you got to cover all your bases, because the other thing is we're talking about a lot of financial burden with this new salary cap situation. When the Knicks make moves, they have to be confident and cognizant with these moves, because once you get over a certain line, you're stuck. So if they have a plan, they better execute it now, get who they think they can get, and go from there, because you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And you also saw that if you don't make these moves now, there's no second guessing later. Like if Mitch starts out and plays the first 30, 40 games, then he gets hurt for the rest of the season, you're stuck because you didn't account for that. So if you're going to do it, you might as well do it now.
Yeah,
it is
so
what it
true.
is. Shout out to the Milkman 3323 in the building. What's good, big homie? Salute to the chat. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. And thank you for being in the chat. 713 Gamer said we got 120 people and only 70 likes, man. Smash that like button if y'all haven't already done so. Maybe y'all don't remember what it looked like. Let me show you, because it looks a little something like this. Yeah, please smash that like button, guys. We appreciate it, man. And listen, I'm not for nothing. I know we say it all the time because people forget, but now we need you to smash the like button more than ever, because you know, Elon's already trying to take us, you know, our shine away. We can't stream on Twitter right now. So, you know,
come on, Elon.
What we doing here? Listen, come on over to YouTube and smash that like button for the guys, man. You know, we here. We trying.
You see the chat's going, you know, back and forth on the whole cat situation. Yeah. I mean, I can't question the guy, you know, has put up numbers in his career. You know, he's a solid player. It's just everything that comes along with him. You know what I mean? The history of him, you know, playing for Tibbs also you have to put into question as well. You know, Tibbs ain't going nowhere. So Tibbs ain't going nowhere. You're going to bring a guy like Cat, you know, can he adjust his mind frame to be, you know, asked to do the things that, you know, are going to be asked of him, because he's not going to be the number one option here with the Knicks. He just isn't, you know. So will he take a back seat to Brunson? You know, is he willing? And is he willing to do what he needs to do defensively, which is kind of his Achilles heel? You know what I mean? Tibbs asks a lot from his centers, and, you know, especially on the defensive side. Will he do that? I don't know. I don't know that he will, because he spoke very poorly of Tibbs and how he ran, you know, the Minnesota team.
That's a good point. You make a really good point, bro. That's the thing. Like, you know, we can't, like, it just, the Knicks have already shown you with the players that they have gone after and brought into this team, they're not just looking for talented guys. They want talented guys that fit, you know, what the goal is of the team and what we're trying to accomplish. Defense first and then offense, obviously. But they're also looking for guys that fit the culture, right? Does Cat necessarily fit the culture? I don't know. He seems more like a lone wolf. Can't work with other guys, but He does his own thing. And he's also, as I talked about this on Saturday, Minnesota has coddled him. They've given him what he's wanted. He didn't want to play center. Okay, we'll let you play power forward. We'll go get Rudy Gobert. He'll be the center. Like, we're not doing that over here with the Knicks. You're going to come here. We expect you to do what you do, but if we need you to play center, you better play center. Like, we can't do all that.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what the fit will be like, and I see Paris has stated, Cat played in Kentucky, though he was egoless. Yeah, and it changed as soon as he got to the NBA because he was given the opportunity to run a team. He was given the keys to Minnesota, and he didn't have a great time with Tibbs as his coach in Minnesota. So, and he openly talked about it to the point where it was like, they got Tibbs out of there. So that's not going to be the same situation here in New York. Tibbs will leave at some point in his career. He will leave the throne, but it would be potentially in his own doing. You know what I mean? Like, he may be the reason. He may be the one who decides that he's done with coaching in the NBA. And, Jalen Brunson, all the Nova Knicks are already, they already bought in. They talk about it openly, how they feel like Tibbs is the right coach. He has the right mind frame to win a championship here in New York. So we got to believe in what those players are saying. So,
yeah. No, I agree with you on that. That makes a lot of sense. Shout out to Anthony D. What's going on, brother? Listen, y'all, if y'all don't know who Anthony D is, he is a really cool dude that has a show called Old School Knicks on the Lawrence Tears Network with our guy Uncle Freezy.
They be putting us on to all this old school R&B singing. I'll be listening.
Listen, y'all know, man, it's a history lesson.
Yeah,
it's a history lesson. Plus, sometimes you be like, you know what I mean? Definitely for the younger people who don't know enough about how good this Knicks team used to be. And listen, I mean, y'all hear about it. There's some banners up there, but it's different when you've seen the players and seen what it looks like, and people can talk about it. So check out Old School Knicks, usually on Sundays on the Lawrence Tear Network in the afternoon. I think around 11:30 or so. So, if you haven't, please check it out. Once again, L's letting y'all know, subscribe to the show and show the show some love. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, L. Thank you. Hey, thank you for the generous super chat, my guy 713 Gamer. He says Trump 2024. Oh my God. Well, I appreciate the super chat.
it might very well be.
Yeah.
This is why we don't discuss politics and
we stay away from that here. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely set up to be Trump in 2020. See what I did there? Oh, I don't even try, guys. Bars everywhere. Shout out to Louisiana Knicks. Appreciate you, bro. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Hey, Jigga Man, appreciate you, bro. John, I miss you. Yeah, man.
Appreciate that, man. It's been a minute, man. I gotta find time.
Facts. Shout out to my guy Shop Powers, one half of the Knicks Real Talk crew with him and Divine. Please show them some love. Knicks Real Talk on YouTube. Good to see you, Sha. We had a good talk this past Saturday. We had some fun chopping it up, man.
Really quickly, I'm gonna give you an update, bro, on the home run derby. You got Witt Jr. from the Royals versus Teoscar Hernandez of the Dodgers. Totally different.
Witt Jr. and Teoscar Hernandez. Wow, Teoscar Hernandez, formerly of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's got some power in his frame.
Yeah. Witt Jr. is just a young.
Weird. Witt Jr. is a beast. I love that kid. He's just a beast.
It's like the changing of the guards, right? Where you would look at the Vladdy Guerreros and all these guys, the big, bulky guys. These guys are more of athletic type outfielders. You know what I mean? Going for it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, we'll see what happens there. I mean, everything's changing, man. I can't believe that I'm not even watching these baseball games anymore the way I used to. I watch a Met game here and there. And it's nuts. I'm so caught up in Knicks talk. I'm in Knicksville for real, y'all. So they got to win a championship because I'm dedicating all my time to the Knicks.
He's missing all the MLB stuff. So Witt Jr. is a shortstop, right? And then Teoscar Hernandez plays outfield.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. That's it's the last shortstop to win a home run derby. Was it Tejada? Miguel Tejada?
Wow. Was it that far back?
I don't remember any other. It had to have been, right?
Yeah, maybe to win. Yeah. I mean, there's others that have been in it and had good showings, but to actually win, maybe. Maybe I can't remember. If anybody in the chat knows that, y'all welcome to say it, but I don't remember. 713 Gamer says only cat y'all need is Williams. Facts. New York Sports Chalk. Thank you for being here and rocking. Good to see you. Said, hey, SNK channel, longtime fan here. Your insights on the Knicks are always spot on and engaging. Thanks for the great content. Like and subscribe. Help grow the community. Go Knicks. Appreciate you. Let's see. Chef NYK is in the building. What's going on? Payne is a good pickup. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. Like the chat seems to be split. There's a lot of people that say Payne is a good pickup. Others are still a little why Payne, and does that mean Deuce is gone? But you know, in the end, I think the Knicks made it's still a smart, solid move. Whether or not they trade Deuce or not, I hope they don't. You know, that's my selfishness of wanting to have Deuce here, but you know, they're going to do what's best for the team. And I'm sure, you know, the one thing about this front office is, listen, look at how we've changed, guys. Look at this. We used to talk like, oh, can they get anything right? Oh, Leon can't pull the trigger. We don't get Spider. Yo, now
can't get anybody.
Now they're talking about Leon going down as one of the best GMs in the past 5 years. Yeah. They're talking about Leon getting busy out here.
He's doing great work right now. I mean, it's not far-fetched because we've had some very, very poor, front office people, some inadequacies in the front office for quite some time. Even when Dolan wants to spend the money and is willing to spend the money, we haven't done a great job. I was listening to Gil's Arena and who was it that was saying it? He's willing to spend the money. Kenya Martin was saying, that Dolan was never shy about spending money and will always spend the money. At his trust in the people he's brought in has been what the failure was all this time. So if he finally got it right, then this is the reason why we're seeing what we're doing right now.
And listen, the best thing, I've said this a long time ago. I don't care too much about the Dolan slander or the Dolan hate anymore because Dolan looks like he's changed, right? He's realized, look, I'm not the smartest guy in the room when it comes to basketball. I thought I could do it this way. I thought I knew the answers. I thought it was easy. It ain't easy. My father loved the basketball. He loved the team. He made some good moves. I didn't make the moves my father did. So then he started to trust other people. And it just didn't work out but the greatest thing about it was watching him fail, because if he didn't fail, Dolan would have ran. Like if some of Dolan's moves would have worked out, we would have been in trouble because Dolan's not a basketball guy. So he would have made a lot of bad moves along the way and he would have continued to do it. So the best thing is for him to let go of the reins and allow somebody else to do it. He had a good idea when it came to Phil Jackson. He just messed up because he picked Phil Jackson, who's a better coach than he is a general manager or a person who does basketball operations.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, but with the track record, do you blame a guy? Like, to be honest with you, when everyone heard Phil was coming, everybody was like, yo, we got, that guy, no one.
That's why it was good to do it. Honestly, we needed that. Because it took somebody of that magnitude for Dolan to step back and say, okay, let me let you do your thing. Because it wouldn't have worked if he just did it with some Joe Schmo off the street. You got to prove yourself in order for Dolan to say, okay, you know more than me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he made a couple of the move for the guy that worked with the Pacers, Donnie.
Donnie Walsh.
Walsh, yeah. So that was a good move. He just, there were moments that Donnie Walsh did not agree with what Dolan was thinking at the time. And, that happens. But again, to what you were saying is that if Dolan is better off allowing basketball people make basketball decisions at the end of the day.
Correct.
And I think
Correct.
he's learned from those mistakes.
And we wouldn't. This whole franchise could have been so different. Imagine if Dolan gave Donnie Walsh the keys and said, do what you want to do."
It'd have probably been earlier.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a true fact.
Yeah.
But we would not have
Randall.
Melo. Melo would not be here.
Right. We would not have had Melo. Melo would have probably got a little anxious and said, "I'm gonna go somewhere else and take the money."
Sure. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, he would have went to Brooklyn probably at that time, most likely, because then. You think so? Because that was one of the biggest suitors.
I think he would have rode out his tenure and then probably went to Miami or figure out a way to get to, somewhere else that was a contending place.
Right.
I don't think Brooklyn was a spot for him yet. Not that time.
All right, couple more, and we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you for being here and rocking with us. New York Sports Chalk says Payne is a great fit for the Knicks. His playoff experience, defensive skills, and ability to run the offense will provide a solid boost to our backcourt. Excited to see him in action. I like that. I'm with you on that. I mean, that's fair. And then Paris says Randall wants the extension, so August 6th. Oh, not the 5th. He's going with the 6th. Randall, Kolek, Mitch, and Deuce for Duren and Jaden Ivey. That's a big move there.
Kolek, Mitch for Duren and Jaden Ivey.
I can't see them doing that because one, I think it's too much.
Does the money work though? Because I don't think Ivy or Duren make the money. I don't think
I think that on the money side, they're a little low compared to what we're giving out.
Yeah,
but the other thing is like
a big.
You know what? Just to be, when it comes to just fairness, if we're looking at things from what they really are, Randall should be able to get Jalen Duren straight up
and more.
We're talking.
We're talking about an all-star. It's draft picks included.
We're talking about an all-star, an all-NBA player.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. But I hear what you're saying.
And then Deuce's stock has gone up. So it's not really a 1-for-1 there either. Because Deuce's stocks has gone up. I would say with Deuce and Mitch should get you a Jaden Ivey, right? And then Duren is nowhere near what Randall is as far as a player. He may have the upside, but no, he's not making enough, and that's like a bunch of draft picks. We're gonna have to get what we gave up for what we gave up for Mikal Bridges draft wise capital. We got to gain that back.
And then the other thing is, like, why would you the addition by subtraction thing? Why would you trade for Duren and give up Mitch? Now you still need a backup center.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Still losing now. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
But I hear you though. There is something brewing, so something could happen. But it could happen a lot sooner than then. So that would just change, some of the people you think
might not include Randall.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me see. Joe Curry said not even Cunningham and a pick for Randall. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. What was that? Jay from PR said Randall should get Cunningham straight up. Well, I mean,
but again, the money don't work.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, Cunningham just got
a rookie deal, right? Or he got paid.
No. Cunningham just got paid. He's on his 200 million. He got 206, I think.
Or 205 more than Randall right now. Yeah, see, they got to match that. You know what I mean?
So. Yeah. Well, shout out to Zigzag Zigala in the building. Hey, I said it right first time. I say Randall for Duren and Isaiah Stewart. I mean, that's different. I think that might be like we might have to throw a pick in there with that because Isaiah Stewart is actually a solid player. But if you're trying to move, my whole thing is if you think that Randall is not going to be here long term, we're not going to have the money to sign him, or they don't want to give him the type of money he's asking for, then I would do something like that. I do Duren and Isaiah Stewart, and the Knicks will be monsters. But I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't want to get rid of Randall just to get rid of Randall. I don't want to get rid of Randall if the front office thinks we can't afford what Randall's going to ask for, and we're not sure if Randall's going to be the same player he used to be now that he injured that shoulder. That's the only way I would be comfortable just moving off of somebody after what we already witnessed, bro. We witnessed a great January. I know it's only 1 month, but it still looked good. Whatever. I don't know
about that.
It's a lot to talk about, guys. We're going to see how it all plays out, but stay tuned because this off season is just, it's crazy. It's been wild. It's been fantastic. Yeah, a lot of guys in this will fail in being a gym. We'll see. Shout out to Kels. What's going on, bro? All right. Well, John, my guy.
Time to get out of here.
Any final words?
As always, man, it's always a pleasure being here with you and the chat. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Like I say, always stay safe out there, stay blessed, and I'm looking forward to the next one, man.
Yeah, man. I can't say enough about John's words. They're really, right here. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Yes, listen to JM3. Hit them likes. And consider subscribing to the show if you like the content. Once again, I apologize. Thank you for anybody who came over from Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, because unfortunately X is doing this new thing where you got to pay their premium subscription in order to stream on the channel now. This is brand new for me because it just popped up. I'll look into it, guys, but I don't know. But thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. We appreciate y'all. And thank you for supporting the show. And continue to smash that like on your way out. We're at 90. Wait, no, we're at 87 likes. So we weren't able to get 100, but maybe we will over time. So thank you once again. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Knicks fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on Monday nights at 9 p.m.-ish. On Saturdays at 11:30 for Know the Ledge. And sometimes during the week, depending on what's going on for other shows, whether it be on Nothing But Knicks or what have you. Thank you guys once again. We'll catch you on the next one. Let's not forget, tomorrow, Summer League, 4:30, NBA TV, the Knicks versus the Brooklyn Nets. So check that out. And we'll talk to you the next time, man. Look forward to chopping it up, man. We'll see. All right, we out of here. Peace. Let me hit the robot. Should we do the robot? Yeah. Let's do the robot.
Freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.